and welcome to Sonny's Baking on a Budget. Today, we will be making a 2-layer lemon and vanilla marble cake with whipped lemon frosting and candied lemons. To make our 2-layer marble cake, we will need these few ingredients you can get from your local grocery store. I went to Walmart. You can go wherever you would like. Here we have our eggs, 2 boxes of cake mix, lemons, heavy whipping cream, milk, unsalted butter, 2 sticks, powdered sugar, lemon and vanilla extract, and sprinkles for razzle dazzle. Let's get into mixing. The tools that you will need today to mix the cake together is a mixer, a stand-up mixer, or a hand mixer. Today we're using a stand-up mixer. 1 cup measuring cup, a spatula. You can use a spoon or knife, whatever you prefer. I prefer a spatula. And a bowl. We have to make 2 mixtures. So we're going to use a bowl to put one of the mixtures in, then the other mixture will sit in this bowl until we have to make the frosting, and then we'll put the secondary mixture in another bowl. You should use 2 regular sized pans and a small pan. Right now I only got the 2 pans, so we're going to make the mixture 2 times, big and small. Melt the butter in the pan while the mixture is being mixed in the mixer. First, we are going to make our white cake mix. We are going to use 1 1/4 cup of milk, 4 eggs, 1 stick of butter. We're going to need the 1/4 measuring cup. Let us grab that. 1/4. Our butter is in the oven melting while we make the mixture. You want your butter to melt, but you don't want it to turn brown. Before we get started mixing, let's put on our apron. In the bowl, we are going to mix together cake mix, eggs, milk, vanilla extract, and butter. Before the mixture is fully mixed, we are going to add the vanilla extract. This batter is now fully done. We can set it to the side while we make our secondary batter. Now that our first mixture is done and put together, we are going to work on the second mixture. So the second mixture calls for 1 package of cake mix, 1 stick of butter, 3 eggs, and 1 cup of milk. We're going to melt the butter in the oven again while we make the mixture. While that melts, we're going to mix our ingredients together. Now that all of our ingredients are in the bowl, we are going to mix. While the mixture is mixing, we are going to add a few drops of lemon extract. Now that our butter is melted, we're going to add it to our mixture. Now that our mixture is complete, we can start putting the mixture into the pans. Before we put the mixture in, I want to show you guys the difference between the two mixtures. One is yellow and one is white. First, we're going to pour mixture from the yellow in, and then we're going to pour mixture from the white in. First, we're going to put some mixture from the yellow in the pan. Now that we have our yellow mixture in the pans, we are going to add in the white. We're doing a big one and a small one to create the two-tier effect. To create the marble effect, you have to marble the cake. Mix the mixtures, but not all the way together. Just mix it so that the colors, you can still see both colors, but it's like a swirl in between the colors. Because the white and the yellow don't really contrast with each other that much, you can't really tell of the marble effect, but it'll be there. Your marble should look something like this. Now that the mixture is into the pans and we've marbled both of them, we're going to put it in the oven. Set our timer for 33 minutes and let our cakes bake. While our cakes are baking, we're going to wrap our mixture. While our cakes are in the oven baking, we are going to start on our candied lemons. We're going to start with some washed and patted dried lemons. And we're going to take our cutting board and cut them into slices. You don't want to make the slices too thin, because if the slices are too thin, then the lemon will disintegrate while it's cooking. So you want to get them a nice, thin, thick, even, you know? We're going to take our serrated knife and cut our lemons. Your lemon should be nice and thin. Pick out the seeds. To make the candied lemons, you need 1 cup of sugar and 2 cups of water. Bring this to a boil and then add the lemon. Stir the sugar and water until completely dissolved. Then let it boil. You're creating a simple syrup to dip the lemons into. Now that our simple syrup is at a boil, we can add our lemons. You want to lay them flat and make sure they do not overlap with each other. We're going to just stick as many as we can into this pan. So our lemons are ready to come out of the simple syrup and go onto the cooling rack. Now that our cakes are done baking, we're going to take them out the oven and put the secondary mixture into the pans into the oven. Now we'll pour our secondary mixture into our bowls and do the same as we did the first layer to create the marble effect. Now that our mixture is complete and ready to go in the oven, we're going to put it in the oven and start on the whipped cream. To make our whipped cream, you're going to need heavy whipping cream and powdered sugar. For a faster whipping process, it's best to place your bowl in the freezer for about 10 to 20 minutes. We're going to make these one at a time because we don't want to overflow the mixer. Next, we're going to put in a little bit of lemon extract to make it a lemon flavored whipped cream. Whip until fluffy. Here I am using saran wrap to keep the mixture from splashing out of the bowl. What you're looking for with your whipped cream, how you know that it's done, is you're looking for a stiff peak. I may have over whipped mine a little bit, so I may not get a stiff peak, but it will be stiff. This is what you're looking for. Stiff. You want your whipped cream to be stiff. That's why you gotta shake it off. We're going to sit this in the fridge while we make our second batch. Our whipped cream is done. We have more stiff peaks. Transfer your complete whipped cream to a bowl and start on the next mixture. After our lemons have been soaked in the simple syrup and cooled, we now put them on the baking sheet to go in the oven for 30 minutes. Bye-bye, lemon. Now that we have everything together and prepped, our cake is ready to assemble. We have 2 small layers and 2 big layers. This is going to make our 2-tier cake. First, we need to even off our layers. As you can see, this layer is pretty rounded, So we need to make that pretty flat so that it lays flat on the plate. We're going to cut this so that we have a flat surface. As you can see on the inside, there's our marble effect. Now that we cut off the top of the cake, our cake is a little bit more level. We will do the same with the next layer. You want to get it as flat as possible. You also want to cut off any hard edges. Like if your edges were hard and crunchy, you want to cut those off as well. But the edges of this are not hard. This one, a little bit. All those hard edges off. Now we have our base layer and our top layer. Next, we will do the same with the smaller ones. Unfortunately, we won't be using the lemons because they are burned. Yeah, maybe those two, but the rest of them, oh well. Now that all of our cake pieces has been cut out, we can now start to frost the cake. We're going to do a frosting on top, and then we're going to pipe on some design. First, let's get into the frosting. So, this is our whipped cream. These are our two bottom layers. We're going to put this one on the bottom and this one on top of it because this one is smaller. You just take the whipped cream and dump it onto the cake as such. Now that we've got that covered, we're going to put our first layer on top. So the key to a straight cake is to flip it. You gotta flip it and then place it. And you see that? It's pretty straight. So what I'm gonna do is fill in the holes with the frosting. I found my love of baking not too long ago when I was working for a kitchen. It was my first time ever working in like an official restaurant setting. Like I worked at like fast food restaurants before, but I had never worked for an actual like facility, you know, like a restaurant where you sit down, you order your food, they bring it to you, etc., etc. So I was working for Polaris Lounge with United Airlines, and I was a prep cook, and I realized working there that I really, really, really do enjoy baking. Not the best, but it's covered. Now we're going to add in our smaller cakes. We're going to put them on top. Now before we go any further, I am going to put some dowels in it. The dowels are used to hold the cake in place. We're going to put the frosting on the top little one and then stick the dowels in. Now we put in our dowels. And this is just to hold the cake steady, because it gets heavier the more layers you put on top. I did not cut them even to the cake because you still want to be able to stick the top layer on top. Like this. Ta-da. There's no such thing as too much frosting, especially when it's whipped. I can smell the lemons. It smells refreshing. Our frosted cake is now in the refrigerator cooling. Now we're going to take a bit of our whipped cream and we're going to turn it yellow so that it stands out against the cake. I've got some food coloring here. Yellow. Or it might just turn yellow. There we go. It is a little yellow. It's a little bit yellow. We want it to be a nice and vivid yellow. We're starting to get some yellow. It's still a bit pale, so we're going to add some more. There we have our yellow whipped frosting. This we're going to use to go around the edges, of the cake, the bottom edge of the cake, the top of the first layer, the inside bottom of the second layer, and the top of the second layer. You'll see when we get to it. So we're gonna sit this in the fridge for about 20 minutes to chill because we've been mixing it and stirring it and now it's all watery. While we wait for our yellow whipped cream to cool, we're going to smooth out the layers on here by adding just a little bit more where it's needed. So we're smoothing that down to kind of create a ledge. And then we're going to smooth out the top. It's not the straightest looking cake, but it's definitely going to be delicious. Where I struggle with making cakes is frosting them evenly. Like, my cake layers are never correctly or evenly frosted. Like sometimes there's more frosting on this side than the other side, etc., etc. My cakes might not be the prettiest, but they will always taste delicious. Our yellow whipped cream frosting is set and ready. We're going to put it into the saran wrap and then twist it up and then stick it into the piping bag. I saw this on the internet. This is my first time trying it. It was a lady making cupcakes, and I saw her, she made like a giant letter or number out of cupcakes, and this is how she put the frosting in the bag to pipe. Let's try it. We're gonna put our frosting on here. I don't know if I should put all of it. I saw her do that. That looks dangerous though. Okay. We've got our bean. Open the doors. 1,000 points if you know where that came from. Okay, yeah, that's not working. Oh well. So now that our cake is completely frosted and decorated with our frosting, we're going to add a little razzle dazzle to it with some candied lemons and some yellow sprinkles. Here we have our little package of sprinkles. So we're gonna put the sprinkles on first, then the lemon. I want to get the sprinkles into the white here. So let's try. See what happens. Our cake is almost complete. We've added the frosting, we've added the sprinkles. Now to add the candied lemons. And now our cake is complete. Thank you guys for joining. I hope you guys had as much fun as I had. Stay tuned for more episodes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. I'm calling my friend Jasmine to see her reaction to the cake.
You made the cake?
Yes. Thank you.
Oh yeah, you can bake. You bake and decorate that cake.
It's all lopsided, but I love it. It's got so much personality. I like
It
it.
got lemons on top.
Yep, right there.
Sugar covered lemon.
Yes.
Oh my god. That cake look good.
Thank you.
Is it? You're some big ass cake, Felicia. Oh my god.